prepared a little quick demonstration sheet here for you with an ordinary blue sky with a bit of green grass. And I mixed here a dark green using sap green and black, carbon black in the traditions, Deco Art traditions, which equals to black green in Americana. I have a medium value here, probably Hauser medium. This is done with sap green and a touch of white. And then a bright yellow green with Hansa yellow and a touch of sap green. You want at least three value changes when you're creating a tree. Dry, always use it dry. I'm actually going to load the brush here and leave this sit for about a minute and let it dry and crust up a little bit. I know you think I'm crazy at this point, but it actually works better when the brush dried a little wee bit. The bristles stiffen up and I find it makes really nice foliage. I'll let this sit and we'll resume in a little bit. Okay, my brush dried just a wee bit. It's not completely dry, it's just getting stiffer, okay? You don't want to leave this dry completely, then you'll damage your brush. So here is my demonstration. I'm going to load a little bit more green on here, the dark green. I'm just working with the dark green right now. My first application is going to be very light. I want to allow the sky to show through the foliage. So you want to keep that in mind, that you're going to be adding three other colors when you're building foliage, because if you add too much dark right away, there won't be no room left for the light. I like to stipple spinning in a circle so that I don't get too many evidence of this here perfect little circle here, okay? I'm going to zoom in on this and see if you can see this a little better. See this here circle? That's what I kind of like want to avoid. And if I'm stippling in a circle, it kind of camouflages that effect. Now you'll see this better when I'm adding the other colors. This here trunk is just a quick little stroke burnt umber. The layout really doesn't matter that much because there's going to be so much foliage on there that you're not going to see much of the trunk. And I also like to add little bumps and neat shapes when I'm doing a tree. You don't want to keep it too tight and perfectly laid out, so you want to have odd shapes. Keep things interesting. Notice I'm loading often. That's because I'm loading very little paint on my brush. And when I load, all I do is I flattened my puddle of paint here so that it wasn't thick. Okay, it's got to be nice and flat. So this is my loading zone that I'm using. I'm tapping and picking up. Then I come here and kind of dispense the paint all around on my brush. Okay. So I'm just going to keep working on this and reloading my brush and creating some fun shapes. Now what I'm trying to do here is kind of darkening the green that I have on here because it's not very, very opaque. I want nice coverage but not solid opacity, okay? So that looks pretty good to me. Maybe a little bit of something in here. I have some little falling leaves. So I'm just going to take my paper towel and wipe that off, spinning in a circle. Just kind of clean that off a little bit here. Now I'm going to go to my next color, which is the medium green, and I'm going to load it the same way. I'm not going to wait for this to dry. It should be okay. This should be semi-dry. You don't want this gooping wet, okay? So now I'm going to highlight. And let's say my light source is coming from the left. Okay, so I'm going to tap in some nice, soft little highlights. Look how nice that's already starting to take shape. And again, I'm going over and beyond the shape. This is why I wanted you to leave a lot of sky showing because I don't exactly tap right over what I've got on here already. So I'm concentrating on these little clumps or little mounds that I've created, and I'm concentrating on the left side of each little clump. Okay, this brush is absolutely fantastic to create trees. I just love it. I used to always use a deer foot, and since I've started using this brush, I won't go back. It leaves more imperfections and more little foliage type markings that I prefer. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to my next color, and I'm going to do the same thing. Wipe that off, and then come into this here bright green, yellow green. It doesn't show that much on the screen, but this is like chartreuse. It's really bright. Okay, so now I'm going to apply my third coat, and you got to remember, with each application you add less so that the prior coats that you applied are going to show through. If you go too crazy with the bright colors, well, you won't have the value change and that depth that you're trying to achieve. So I'm going to reload that a little bit. There we go, that's a little better. And I am brightening and concentrating once again on the left side of each little clump or mound. See, look how pretty that is. It just lights right up, like as if the sun is hitting it at the perfect angle. If you were doing a scene that was closer towards noon, then you would highlight the tops of your trees as opposed to the left. And this is about it. If I wanted to, I could highlight this one more time by grabbing a little bit of white. Let's see here. And just loading maybe one side of my brush. I don't know if you can see that. A little bit of white. And that's keeping my brush dirty with the prior color. And I'm going to just brighten just a few on top here. And leave the bottom ones. That's a little too white. I don't want to make it look like snow. There we go. There we go. That's perfect. See? And just a few top ones, and that's it. And I'll leave the rest alone, or just very little, like I'm going less and less with each one. And there you go. There's a quick little deciduous tree. Go and practice, and you'll succeed just like I did. That's a lot of fun. Perfect little brush for trees. Thanks for watching.